Hello, hello, and welcome back to the channel. We are on episode 7 of Murderbot titled Complementary
I'm already
Species.
laughing just thinking about it.
I really appreciate how this episode kind of detoured into like planet Earth alien version of like David Attenborough nature scenes.
I love how anytime that they're in danger, things devolve into like some sort of community protest until everybody agrees. Oh, it's incredible.
I
She
want to
had a name. It's
and I love
Libby.
how yeah,
Libby.
Libby,
It's
Libby.
Libby.
There
Uh,
so whoever it was, oh, I feel bad I forgot who posted this comment, but I sent it to you where it was
La
like
Bye Bye. That was
Lavivi
funny.
went la bye bye. And
That
I
was
was
hilarious.
like, good on you, sir. Good on you, ma'am, whoever you are out there. That was deeply appreciated.
Yeah.
But I want to start at the beginning because we've got a little bit of an origin story from Garathan, which was really good. It was really good.
Yeah, it actually, yeah, getting some of his backstory put a lot of things in perspective. And I really enjoyed that little sweet and bitter game they were playing. I wish everybody had taken a turn, especially Rati, because
Oh,
I wanted to hear what he had to say.
missed opportunity, missed opportunity.
Right?
Like if this was a longer series and they had more episodes or longer episodes, it would have been very cool to do like a cameo episode for each one of the preservation team members, like
Yeah.
getting a little bit of their backstory. I know why they didn't. It's like quick, sweet, like in and out with these episodes. But as much as I like the characters, I'm like, I want to know more. Like this little moment with Garathan has me really curious about everyone else. And I guess, like we've got kind of like an insight into their personalities and like their jobs, like lawyer, biologist, etc. But I don't know, like getting to learn about Garathan being a spy puts a lot into context, and it kind of makes you understand why he's so suspicious of everything because he was paid to like do this dirty work by someone within,
Yeah.
this area. He's not from the preservation team like homeworld. He's an outsider and he's so different and it makes sense and why he's so
Yeah.
skeptical.
It also puts like so much context into why he's so, let's say, awkward with Mensa.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell he's really into her, but he gets like really awkward around her because obviously she's got like a whole family thing going on and it doesn't seem like she's into him. But because where he like shuts down before doing the bitter, we all know what the bitter is. Like, it's the same as Bardawage's bitter. They just don't return your feelings. But it does make sense why he became so attached to her because he feels like she saved him.
Yeah, she's got this very I mean, it
Paternal aspect to her.
yeah, yeah, and I think when I read the books, I always envisioned Mensa as someone younger for whatever reason, just like my mind's eye just saw her that way. But I think, after seeing her in the show, it's completely erased what I had originally thought of her looking like, I guess, in terms of age, because in the book description, I think the description is pretty similar in terms of like what she looks like, but I don't remember age really being a part of it. It's been a long time, but I don't know. I think their relationship, it's definitely a little out there, and then later on in the episode, Garathan kind of, like, pressures her, like, "Do you have feelings for it?" And she was like, "Bardawad" or, Garathan, like
Why?
right, like, "Where are we going with this?"
Outside of the jealousy town.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
her doing like So she has this way of like gentle parenting Murderbot that really seems to work for it.
Yeah, and I could
Like
see her doing the same tactics with
yeah,
Garathan.
she kind of does this like parenting yet respecting its autonomy combo that really seems to work to like get Murderbot in the mood to be a little less uh you know, disagreeable.
Yeah, and I think too, as Murderbot gets to know Mensa a little bit more, and they spent this time together in the last episode, Murderbot's kind of speaking its mind and opening up a little bit more and showing more of its personality. Like when the whole team is kind of like, "Okay, like, tell us, like, it's gonna be okay. You're not trying to kill us, whatever." And what does Murderbot say? Like,
It said,
thinking
"If I
about
wanted to kill you,
yeah,
you'd all be dead."
right. Like,
Like,
want
okay, I mean,
to
that's one way to settle that.
yeah, and I feel like this is the first time we're getting to see it just, like, off the rip. Like, "Tell me how you really feel."
Yeah.
And it's refreshing getting to see that finally as we're getting to the end of the episode or the end of the season.
I would there were some really, really, like, clutch, hilarious moments in this episode,
So
and
okay.
so much of it happened, like, in the very beginning. You know, when so you know how they're, like, debating what Labibi's intents and motives were?
Mhm.
And Dr. Arata's like, "I think she was bluffing." I don't think she was bluffing."
Grathan's like, "Pretty
Like
good bluff." Like, "She
yeah.
shot my knee off."
And then Garathan's whole, like, point of contention is that her head was shot off next to his, not so much that she was killed, but in his
That's how it affects
proximity
me.
to the shot. And it's like, well, I mean, he could have waited for her to move and you could have been dead instead. Like,
Right. Right. Oh god. I just even
we're gonna
even
have to talk about the fight scene too.
I can't wait to get there. Even Rati is kind of being this voice of reason where he's like, "Oh, if you wanna make an omelet, you've gotta break a few eggs,"
You gotta
talking
break a
about
few eggs to make a
Labibi.
protein dense breakfast.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how that goes.
Uh, but I mean, he's right in the in
He
this
is.
in the large scale of everything. I don't know why they're so pressed about Labibi getting killed when she was holding a gun to Grathan's head,
Well, she'd
but
already shot him,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
in a really horrible place to be shot, like, a shot to the knee,
mhm,
that's horrific.
right, and they had seen I mean, at least Murderbot and Mensa had seen the carnage that went down
Yeah.
in on the Deltfall habitat within it, and so regardless if that was, all killing done by the sec unit or the person controlling it, doesn't matter. Labibi is a part of it, she's somewhat responsible for it. All those people are dead, and so it's naive, yes, like, that's a part of the conversation when we get to that cold open between Garathan and Mensa, talking about, like, they're being naive, going here and doing this, and the dangers of it, and Garathan not trusting anything, really, knowing that he's worked in this area and he expects things to go bad, which it did, and so, like, getting to see that, it makes so much more sense on why he acts like he acts and why he's so pressed about Murderbot.
You know, so you remember how last episode Murderbot told them that if it were going to, like, plan something nefarious, it would
Mhm.
just do exactly what Labibi did because Preservation Alliance would be an easy mark for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I kind of wonder if some of them, when they're like kind of arguing back and forth about Labibi's intention, are struggling with the idea of how wrong they were.
Right, and I mean, that's a big, like, upset to your identity when you look at the world and kind of this, like everything has value, everything has meaning, and then you step outside of this little oasis where they're from, and it's like the harsh reality of it is just glaring. But
Yeah.
they're still, like, not quite ready to just accept it.
Oh, definitely. One of the things that really stand out to me within the group is everybody has like very different ways of managing what they're going through. So we have Pinley who's like, I'm gonna sue everybody into the next millennia. Like everybody's getting sued. I love that for her. Yes. But then some of them are like, no, 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 this isn't happening. This is all like a like we have Dr. Arata who is really struggling with, I would say, the malice nefarious intent involved in all of this. And
Mhm,
then we have Bardawaj, who's kind of just like continually cycling through like a PTSD episode. And, not that she's wrong for that, because she's really had a rough go on planet. Then we have Garathan, who's so busy being, you know, suspicious of Murderbot that it almost gets him killed.
mhm.
And like there's so much going on, and it kind of seems like Mensa may be the only one who really has it together on the team. Like she's the one
Yeah.
who's like, no, 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 we're all going to be fine. We're going to figure this out. We can talk about this. We can talk about this.
Yeah, it's just I'm getting a little bit of, like, there's always that one person who can be the voice of reason, and with the
Yeah.
preservation team, it's a little bit like herding cats. Like, Murderbot's trying to get everyone, "Get in the hopper. We have to go. Let's do this," and it takes for Mensa to tell Murderbot to drop the head, face covering,
Yeah.
and Murderbot says, "Please," and that's finally what it takes, and it's just it's stressful, but, like, it's so quick, like, these episodes are so fast, and so we're getting the cold open with Garathan, we're getting this, off-world, like, flight, we get the landing, and then the conclusion with that fight, that's it, like, that's the
Yeah,
episode,
but
that's it.
there was so much dialogue in
Yeah.
each, like, scene. If we wanna look at them like, the beginning is a scene and then on the hopper, but they even struggle to get on the hopper until it starts running at them, and then they get kinda spooked, and then out pops one of those creepy little, like,
Centipede
house
thingies.
centipedes on steroids.
The Murderbot Dune worm.
Yeah. And then
Shai
they're like,
Hulud.
"Oh, yeah." Shai Hulud shows up. And then they're like, "Oh, okay. So, like, this wasn't, I'm gonna kill you guys. It was like, actually, there is something going on." That scene, though, the the Shai Hulud mating scene was hilarious. Like, everybody's terrified, and then it turns to like some sort of grotesque horror or interest.
Errata
Garathan's like, I don't know if the hull can tolerate this much weight.
I think, like, I was fine, I was like, "Oh, that's funny," and then they come out and there's, like, the egg sac
Yeah.
on the side, and I was like, "Ah, that was gross, that was nasty,
Yeah.
it was disgusting,"
I think
but it
oh, go ahead.
well, it had a point,
It
like,
did.
there was a point to it because the egg sac thing becomes a part of the plot and
It was a
the
crucial part of the
reason
plot.
yeah, the reason that the dark sec unit got absolutely obliterated by Shai Hulud, but it was
When Murderbot's standing there and it says, I'm standing here like an idiot when I learn that the top level sec units can jam my threat analysis.
the
It just like
way
lands on him with a Spartan kick.
the
And this,
way that the dark sec unit flew through the air like Arya Stark.
yes!
Like, out of nowhere. Where did it come from? Doesn't matter. Like,
No, it
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
matter. The
Ugh.
way that, like, it's shooting, everybody's screaming and ducking, and Roddy says, "I have a plan," and runs inside and grabs whatever that was. And like his throw was solid. I give him that. Like the throw was solid, but when it came back at it, like Sec Unit was like, they're pissing me off. They keep trying to help and getting in the way. But you know, at the same time, like I do appreciate it, even though it's making it worse.
That was one of the
Oh,
best choreographed fight scenes that I
ever.
think I've ever seen, and it's done in, like, 20 like, less than 20 seconds, it's
Yeah.
so fast.
You
But,
know,
like, I can't pick a favorite part. Is it the, like, weird trash javelin throw, and then, like, Murderbot, like, responds by shooting it out of the air, like, moments before it's about to, like, connect with Rati's face? Or was it Arata, like,
attacking.
line back tackling trying to tackle the other sec unit, and it just doesn't budge, like, she just, like,
Uh,
bounces off of it.
when it shoots the eggs and she comes flying at it, and then Pinley's after her.
The
and,
kick.
and Murderbot has to pick Pinley up, and she's like bicycle kicking it while it's turning. And then the
The rock
spear.
throw, the
Oh
rock
my God.
rock
The
throw
Rock was even better.
when it hits Murderbot in
In
the
the
head.
head. Oh my God. I couldn't stop laughing. I watched it like 3 times in a row, and I
So
laughed
did
through the
I.
entire fight scene the whole time.
It was
And then, of all the things to show back up, Shai Hulud shows back up. It's like, you are not touching my kids.
Nope. Nope.
Oh,
I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall during whoever was, like, in the writer's room for just this scene in particular because, oh my god. Like,
oh.
10
How do you
out of
even get
10. 10
through?
out of
How do
10.
you get through acting this scene? Like, it would be impossible not for me to not laugh every time something funny happened.
But, like, I don't know, the bicycle, like,
That was great.
the kick
Oh.
up the suck unit as she's screaming, oh my god. Like, I today, I reread, like, the latter half of book 4. Actually, yeah, like, the whole half of it.
Okay, so it is pretty short then.
Yeah, yeah, it was, like, maybe an hour or something, hour and a half or
Oh,
something.
wow.
But the, so if you haven't read the books, this is very, like, light spoilers talking about who is in this book, but we finally get some time back with the preservation team in this book,
Oh, okay.
and I was kind of thinking about it, like, I wasn't incredibly attached to the preservation team when I read book 1. I was just kind of like, "Ah, they're here, they're a part of the story, whatever." Like, they're not all through the entire series, like, Murderbot's off doing other stuff. And so, getting that time back with these characters, it made me appreciate, like, how the show is doing it even more, I think, because I was starting to kind of, like, look at who they were and seeing kind of like how the jokes or the personalities and just how it's written, like how it's translating from, one way to the other, be TV or books or whatever. And I'm still like I am still confidently like would say that there's nothing wrong with the characters in the books. They're great, they're fine. You only see them from Murderbot's point of view, but the show is doing like they're putting in a lot of work to make them really interesting, I think. And I think the biggest hurdle for them adapting this is just the fact that like 99% of the story is Murderbot's narrations and thoughts about what's happening.
Yeah.
And so, like, you can't have complex characters if it's just from this, from Murderbot's point of view. But I like the humor. I like the silliness of it all. I think it was a fun choice. The books aren't going anywhere, but, like,
Right.
I'm into it, I'm into it, and,
Well,
like, this funny scene, like, that we're talking about, it's great. It's
it
it's great.
is.
It's great.
You know, it's a lot easier to have some flat characters in a book than to have them in a show. So, they may not be very dimensional like in the books because it's all from Murderbot's like first person point of view kind of thing. But in the show, if they were kind of flat still, it would
Mhm.
be a much bigger deal because we're not getting all of Murderbot's narration. I mean, we get the best parts of it, like
Yeah.
where he talks about how, this, that, or the other is silly or idiotic or something. But we're not getting like full narration where that's our only perspective. Like we're getting scenes that Murderbot's not even involved in with the
Yeah.
Preservation Alliance
It's
people. So
needed. It's
yeah, they
needed.
have to have dimension,
Mhm.
especially in like today's day and age of the expectations of like television shows. It's not like it used to be where you expect like books and movies to be the best and television shows are just kind of like, whatever. Now television shows are much more like in the front.
Yeah. And I think it's making and, you can make this point for any adaptation as well, but it's getting people to pick up the books. Like, even if
Absolutely.
someone, like,
Oh, I'm gonna read
hates
the books.
yeah, even if someone hates the adaptation, like, I went from this is just, like, a personal, like, tangent here, my own I'm putting in my own data, what I've experienced, but if you u I use the Libby app to, like, download books from my library. I've never had to wait for more than, like, 2 weeks to get one of the Murderbot books. Like, they've always been, like,
Available?
available for the most part, and I went in today to look, and I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna get book 5 and go from there," and I'm the 6th person in line. So,
Oh,
like
wow.
yeah, so, like,
Okay.
it's and they're short, so I'll probably end up getting it in, like, 2 weeks or something, but, like, there's definitely, like, just my own data here, like, there are people definitely out there reading the books, I think, because of the show. It could just be a
Oh, I think
coincidence, but
that
I doubt
I
it.
think that adaptations drive book sales for every series.
Yeah,
That I mean, like, imagine what Game of like, a Song of Ice and Fire book sales look like after a Game of Thrones.
right.
Look at, like I know that Amazon canceled the show, but look at how hard they're going on, like, the Wheel of Time books. They're all getting new covers.
Mhm.
Everything's being geared up for people to take interest again. You know, True Blood, I read those books because of the show.
Yeah. Look, one of these days, we need to cover True Blood because I don't look, I'll be real.
Where are
I c
True Blood people? Leave a
yeah,
comment.
for real.
Like,
Like
please, we should all get together and talk about it.
fellow millennials, where were you? But, like, for real, like, I could get through the first couple seasons, but, like, once we get into Billith territory, I check out. Like, I
Lilith
check
is
out.
terrible.
But I don't know, like, for fans, like, if you're a big fan of, like, Interview with a Vampire, like, if you're into your creature fantasy, you like your werewolves, you like your vampires, you like your fairies, True Blood did it first. Like, it was one of the best, like, introductions into that type of fantasy that was ever put on television. And, like, I mean, like, modern, I'm not
Right.
you could go way, way back, but it was, like, done in a very accessible way, and it's just it's unhinged. Like, that first scene of Jason Stackhouse, like, you know what I'm talking about. Like,
The
it's
whole I love the first season's incredible. Even if
prepare yourself.
yeah, even if you
Prepare
don't watch the
yourself.
whole show, watch, like, the first couple seasons. They are incredible.
Watch for Alexander
Especially
Skarsgård. Watch for
yeah,
Eric
he's
Northman.
he's great in that.
Cinematic masterpiece.
It
What a
really is.
character. What a performance.
Right. And I mean,
Um,
nothing beats Russell Edgington.
one of the best villains
The
in
best one of the
fantasy.
best villains in fantasy. Like,
Uh,
perfect.
We digress. Was there anything about Murderbot that you wanted to say before we wrap it up?
It'll be interesting to see what happens next.
I
Like,
I wanna see
they've
how they
got
wrap things up. 2
yeah.
episodes, we got less than an hour's worth of Murderbot, and then it's
Wait, do we have
done.
2 or 3? Do we have 8, 9, 10, or
Or
just
8,
8
9,
and
10,
9?
8, 9,
Okay.
10, yeah.
So we have 3 episodes, which is like an hour
Right.
altogether. And, like, we've got some ground to cover here to wrap up a season.
That's yeah, like, we've got
'Cause it's almost like how a lot of TV shows have, like, a mid-season,
mhm.
like, peak? This one is just like, "You know what? We're gonna put the peaks wherever." They're just
It really
wherever.
is, it really is. 4 4 was, like, the funny fight that we both liked, the Rati, like, knocking himself out with a gun.
He's a gem in a fight, like
Uh, honestly, like, this character, like, he needs his own episode. I mean, I don't even they could do anything with Rati, and I'm watching, regardless of what it
yes.
is. He's that good. But, so, like, here's the thing, we need to get into a little bit more, I think, of, like, what Murderbot experienced at the hands of, like, the company because, like, this whole, like, slavery aspect of it, and then Murderbot being used to, like, kill a bunch of
Yeah.
people. I feel like that needs to be addressed. I think we need to, like, dig into that a little bit, but then we
I
have to, like,
think
wrap up
I
the
think we are gonna dig into that next episode. 'Cause, like, I know that they're not doing, like, previews for next episode, but they do have, like, the little blurbs underneath the coming
Mhm.
next week, and it
Yeah.
does say that Garathan's gonna, like, pry a little bit further into Murderbot's history.
Yeah, we still haven't got the, like, "It calls itself Murderbot" line,
Yeah.
so that's gotta come up somewhere. I don't know, I'm down to see, like, the post, like, the immediate response after what just happened in this episode because once again, Murderbot was correct, like, something's out there, something's coming after them. They've all decided we're going back to the habitat to try and save Garathan, but at that point, like, I feel like we're going to have to see Murderbot really shine. We're gonna have to see Murderbot, like, really up its game in terms of, like,
Yeah.
safety protocol because
Well, it can't just rely on Mensa to always come through and
yeah.
make it better. 'Cause
Yeah.
she does a lot of, like, buffering between the rest of the crew and Murderbot. It's like
Yeah, she's a good
she's
filter.
Murderbot's friend, but it's like, I don't like anybody else, and so she has to do, like, the buffering between the 2 groups, because a lot of the people in the group are kind of, like, alarmist.
Mhm.
Understandably, they haven't dealt with this kind of, like, violence, or wanton conspiracy, uh but she's the one who's like, "I see you as a valuable member of the team, and I see it as, you protecting us, and you have different skills than us, and that's okay." And they're like, "Get this murderous android." Lee was
Outta
like,
here.
"Now's our chance to leave it. Make the company pick it up separately."
Yeah, and Mensa's like, "No, you got it backwards, like, don't be so sure it doesn't leave us." Like, it
She's right though, because it could
yeah.
at any moment just be like, "Eh." And, we see that scene in the woods where it's like kind of hallucinating about, like, what could happen, and I think my favorite part of that scene in the woods was where it was like, "I should have downloaded more media."
I felt like it was breaking
I
the fourth
can't
wall.
I can't stay and just watch media till my battery runs out because I don't have any new media,
Right.
like and it's something as simple as, like, Sanctuary Moon sends it back. It's gotta download more episodes.
It's really I mean, as, like, goofy as it all is, it's pretty heartfelt. Like,
Oh,
there's just
definitely.
I think the existentialism of it all, like, that's the real like, storyline here. That's the major theme of the books and the show. But there was something, like, really sad and wholesome of that scene where Murderbot's just kind of, like, staring off to the distance, like, imagining seeing itself being, like, overgrown in the forest as it's just left to, like, become a part of the
The
ecosystem.
landscape,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I mean, I feel like, we know Murderbot's not gonna it's not gonna leave everybody behind, it's gonna get on the hopper, it's gonna do the right thing, but it's a fun little cliffhanger that they keep doing every week, like, is it gonna stay? Is it gonna go? We've got, like I feel like it's just gonna be major chaos next episode. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll have to see. I haven't watched any previews. I haven't watched any, like I haven't looked at any of the images. Just to guess, just to
I don't
guess.
think there are previews.
I think are there? I don't
I don't
know.
think so.
I feel like I see them, like, right before the new episode comes out
Well,
on,
that
like,
could
social media, but
yeah, that could definitely be the case, but I don't think, like, right now there's a preview. Um, let me see.
I think,
Yep, no preview on Apple TV at least.
yeah, I know I've looked before, but, that's really all I got. That's
Yeah,
about it.
I wish I had more profound things to say, but this was just too funny.
Where would you rank this one? Are you putting this above 4? Above the
Yes,
one you liked? Okay, so this one's your top
this
now.
is my top now. This
Same,
this was
same,
hilarious.
same. This was a good one.
It was.
All right. Well, we will wrap it up there. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Laura and I will be back to cover more Murderbot and other series, and we will see you back when we're done checking the perimeter.